Hello everybody and welcome to today's video of DIY investing. I've got some good things coming for today's video. I've noticed a very shocking similarity between gold and Bitcoin that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Do myself a favor and click the link in the description below to sign up for my Discord server. There you're going to find all of my own private analysis and trades moving forward as we continue into these explosive markets that I foresee coming. If you find this video helpful, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates in the future. The markets are really picking up and I'm super excited for what's to come. With that being said, let's get right into the video today. Alright guys, so to start off this video, let's go ahead and give you an update on Bitcoin, because where we left off last update, we were right here. And what we've had since then is a nice breakout of this little bottom that we had here at about 3,300. We didn't quite hit the bottom of my target at 33, but we did bounce basically right after where I made the video. But it doesn't change the fact that this is still very good for the markets. We're seeing lots of upside going on in some of these altcoins. And so we did actually get that confirmational bounce. We didn't break support and fall lower. And so with that being said, what I am watching for currently is how high we're actually going to be going up in this C leg of the ABC retrace. Now, I've already told you guys that my target's 5,500. However, something to keep note of is just because I have a target set there doesn't actually mean that the market's going to behave accordingly, and we might not see that. If we zoom in here, we've got resistance here, strong resistance, at about the 4,200 area. So if we can break out of this, then I am expecting some of these higher resistance levels to get hit, such as about 45, just under 46, and then one final one here at about 4,900. So these are going to be the areas that I'm watching for actually venturing closer out of here. Keep in mind, this is a very good sign for the altcoins overall, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're out of the clear with this bear market, and it's something we're going to just have to watch and analyze because of the fact this could still drop lower. What we saw happen in the previous bear market, and let's go back here and actually look at it right here. This is what I'm watching for. This was when we were actually still on the main trend line that held us for the majority of the bull market. From way back in the day, from 11 to 12, and then all the way at the top of 2013 when we had the initial sell-off. And so what I'm watching for is we could see something similar to how this played out, where we had the first, where we made a higher low, nearly fully retraced, and then we get this breakout. And this is kind of a fake out where prices rally up, they come and retag this resistance, and then they break back on the downside just as hard as they broke up before, and then we go through one final capitulation event. And so this is something to keep note of. Just because of the fact Bitcoin is going up doesn't necessarily mean that the bear market's over. We have had a very strong sell-off since the top of all-time high. We're currently at about an 84 to 85% retrace, and so that alone is enough to spell capitulation out. However, we haven't necessarily had the same amount of volume that we did, because if we open up the volume indicator, look at how strong this sell volume was back in here. And we actually got the strongest sell volume at the initial bull trap, in which we could be experiencing right now, where prices rally, they slam into resistance over here, and then they get rejected just as hard. And that's what we could be seeing. We could be seeing something very similar to this playing out. Keep in mind, we have already broken the trend line that held us for the bull market, and this was one where we were still kind of maintaining support and consolidating here. So with that being said, guys, I'm just watching to see how prices are going to continue to move inside of this bottom that we had in this breakout. We are actually getting a nice bullpen candle coming in here, so that's going to be very bullish overall. I do expect us to come up here, and I do think that we're going to hit about 4,000. 4,000 is my next target for this move, considering we are actually going back up again. So I'm going to be watching the $4,000 area to see how we react to that. If we can get a breakout of that, then I'm expecting these three resistance levels to get hit. My ultimate target's going to be 5,500, just because of the fact we had such a strong decrease in price. So with that being said, usually you have a strong bounce on the upside. Not always, but it does happen quite often, especially because us being in the three wave, just finishing the three wave, usually you do see somewhat of a bounce in those moves. So this is what I'm watching for as of now. This is what you guys can expect moving forward. Keep a screenshot of this, and then you guys can kind of see. If you would like, join my Discord, and I'll actually be posting my charts, and I'll be updating this as we venture closer in this up move in Bitcoin. So with that being said, I really wanted to go over the actual Bitcoin price compared to gold. Now, this is something that honestly I don't feel like is getting talked enough about right now. I don't know if people just aren't realizing it or what, but the fact is gold and Bitcoin are behaving very similarly. So let's pull up a chart here. This is one that I've made on Photoshop just recently. I had this gut feeling to just tell me to, you know what, go and look at the gold chart. I already knew that gold was behaving similar to Bitcoin throughout here. However, once the crash, everybody kind of forgot about it. Everybody got scared of the 50% drop that we had, and I haven't seen very many charts since then. So with that being said, I went back and I looked at this gold chart. For whatever reason, I couldn't find the entire price history on TradingView, so I had to just pull one off the internet. But look at the comparison between these two. Do you guys see the similarities in market structure that are playing out? We're going to actually go through here and analyze what I'm talking about specifically. So this was gold from about the 1970s to early 2000s before we had our massive rally that put us up to about, I think, $1,900 to $1,800 per ounce. And it was a very profitable time if you were to get back here and accumulate. So with that being said, gold and Bitcoin are accumulating on basically the exact same cycle. And we're going to go through here and draw that. So with gold, we had the initial rally up, then we had the first sell-off, and then we had this massive parabolic run. And that was a very profitable time in gold, very, very parabolic markets, and it's something we saw very similarly with Bitcoin. We had the rally up, we had the first sell-off, then we had the very parabolic run that took us to 20K per BTC. And then what happens? We have the top, and then we retrace. And so we had the first ABC retrace, ABC, and then what happens? We get the first bounce. So this is where we bottom, right here, bottomed here, and then we have a top there, then we retrace further, make another bottom here with another bounce and a top there, and then we go through this really slow kind of accumulation where we get this nice rounded formation coming in here. And that's what you usually see during accumulation. And that's what we saw here with Bitcoin. And then we get the final top there. And then we get the final top here. Keep in mind, this one is a little bit more bullish. We kind of held an upward trajectory a little bit better with gold's market cycle, whereas Bitcoin, this was more of a descending triangle. And so no two market cycles are ever going to behave exactly the same. I always tell you guys that, and it's true. However, it doesn't change the fact that gold has always been the store of value for centuries. Like, everybody's been using gold throughout all of history. And so Bitcoin has always been considered digital gold. It's mined. There's a small supply. Even though gold can be mined out of the ground anytime, that's still kind of been the view throughout history. And so it's a store of value. People put their money away into it in hopes that they can put it away, forget about it, and it'll continue to make more money or just create passive income for themselves. And so gold and Bitcoin are very similar, and it's also really cool that we're seeing the exact same market cycle play out. Now, gold had one final accumulation where we broke support, and then we kind of just made this rounded bottom formation before we went through our parabolic run. Now, look at this, guys. We broke support here with Bitcoin. We all remember when that happened. We had a 50% sell-off, and now look what's happening. It looks to be a nice accumulation round, similar to what we had here. We had this lower low here, and then we made one final lower low with a breakout. We have this lower low here, one final lower low with a breakout. And it looks like this pattern looks exactly the same as right here. And so we could be about right here. We could be at the very bottom before we start going back up in the cycle. But based off of this, we are basically at the bottom if we're only going off of gold's last market cycle. So with that being said, no two market cycles are ever going to behave exactly the same, and we could see another sell-off with Bitcoin. Keep in mind, we haven't really had that capitulation volume that we usually expect to see during capitulation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be there. We could see very strong accumulation volume flow in here very soon. We could have a black swan event where some major news comes out. Maybe Bitcoin gets approved for an ETF. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter for me, but I'm just letting you guys know what we could potentially see inside of this market. I'm just pointing out what gold did in its last cycle before we went extremely parabolic, and now I'm showing you the similarities between Bitcoin's price and gold. So with that being said, I think that we could very easily be at the bottom of Bitcoin's market. And so right now, the best thing that you could be doing for yourself is be looking to accumulate. Everybody was so quick to be buying up Bitcoin when it was worth 15 to 20K, but now that it's worth sub $4,000, people are so scared and they're not touching it. Don't get stuck on the opposite end of the market. Even if Bitcoin drops lower, the best thing that you're going to be able to do is just keep cash on hand and just be accumulating while prices are this cheap, because it very easily could be the very last time that the average retail investor will have the opportunity to buy a full Bitcoin. Or even if you can't buy a full Bitcoin, just the fact that it is this low in price is going to bode very well for the people that are accumulating and getting into it now. So this is the pattern that I've been noticing. Gold and Bitcoin are on the exact same market cycle, same trajectory and everything. So with that being said, for Bitcoin to rally up similar to how gold did, I would not be the least bit surprised if we see a $50,000 to $100,000 BTC. There's more demand for Bitcoin because of the fact I feel like there is a bigger use case for Bitcoin. Now keep in mind, Bitcoin and gold are treated as a store of value. However, Bitcoin can be transacted globally, across borders, quick and efficiently, whereas gold, you really only have physical objects unless you do like paper trading. But it doesn't really change the fact that gold and Bitcoin are similar to the extent where it is a store of value. However, you can actually transact Bitcoin amongst peer-to-peer. You don't have to rely on a third party to send and receive that. And so for me, there's more of a use case for Bitcoin, especially in this digital age that we live in. I actually expect Bitcoin to surpass gold's market cap just because of the simple fact that there is a bigger use case for gold or for Bitcoin. And so this is what I'm watching out for, guys. I think we very easily could be at the bottom of this. I'm taking lots of positions in altcoins because it's very obvious to me that alts have basically bottomed out, and we're going to start seeing some very explosive cycles to come. I think that we very easily could be at the very bottom of this, guys. So the best thing you're going to be able to do for yourself is be looking to take positions in this time. Don't get scared out by the fear. Even though we continue to make lower lows, it does not change the fact that this is the market cycle and this is what you're going to feel. And don't get scared out by those emotions that are going to keep you hostage from making a profitable return. Like I said, everybody was so excited to be buying up in greed as we went up in this parabolic move, yet now that the markets have tanked and prices are really cheap, everybody's scared out of it. Don't be one of those guys. Do yourself a favor. Get set up with some long-term holds, because right now, with it being so cheap and with all of these altcoins bottomed out, you can take positions to make very long-term holds, maybe 1-2 years, if not even longer than that, depending on your specific trading plan. But anyways, guys, this is what I had to show you for today. This is Bitcoin and gold, the comparison. I believe that the bottom is in. We could easily see one more lower low, but based off of this analysis, guys, and how Bitcoin has behaved so accordingly to gold, I think that we very easily could be at the bottom. So for me personally, I'm taking positions in this time. Make sure you guys are doing whatever you feel is best, but I'm just giving you my personal analysis moving forward and telling you guys what I'm going to be doing personally. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you would like updates on my charts and analysis, please follow my Discord. There will be an invite link in the description below. Make sure you click on that. We've got about 18 members in there so far, so I want to get this thing popping before the markets get too crazy. It'll be a really good time to be furthering your own education on analysis, as well as getting some perspective from some of these guys that have actually been around for these cycles for a while. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.